Hey Aries, I just finished the reading, but I forgot to mention, so I'm going to put this at the beginning, that if you're interested in getting the day by day, February 1st to 15th energy, the link is in the description box below. We'll take a look at the reading for the entire month, and then we'll go through the energy day by day, and I'll also walk you through the specific transits. Between astrological transits between now and the 15th, as well as where the moon is. So again, if you're interested in purchasing that, it is, you can pay what you want. I have to put a minimum of €1 in it because they won't take it below. But if you want to pay €1, that's fine with me. Or if you want to pay more, that's also fine with me. As I said in the description box, stay tuned for the reading. Hey Aries, how's it going? I'm here to do your reading for the first half of February 2020. As usual, I'm going to pull 3 cards face down for the advice, which we will read at the end. And then we'll get into your reading. So can I please have face down 3 cards for advice for Aries 2020, first half of February. 3 cards, please, face down, advice for Aries. I'll take that one. I'm using the Native Spirit deck. I don't know why it just spoke to me. 2 more cards, please. I think it's because of the full moon in Leo. So astrology, the major ones, we have a couple of signs changing, or a couple planets changing signs. Mercury will be going into Pisces. That is a very intuitive Mercury. It's a Mercury that can sometimes get brain fog because if it tries to rationalize too much, it loses the answer. It has to sort of feel its way through the answer. A lot of people with, I'll take that. A lot of people with Mercury and Pisces are claircognizant. And that means that they know the answer, but they have absolutely no idea how they know the answer. They're just, and it's like one of those moons where, or Mercury's, forgive me, where to get the answer, you tend to have to like be near water or connecting with nature, looking into the sky. People who have that Mercury tend to do best when they can sort of feel their way into the answer. So that's one change. Venus is going into Aries. That's like bunny rabbit energy. Things can start up fast. Venus gets very bored in Aries, but she does like to start things. So it's good for, it's good for flings, and good for having fun or getting things started or new financial beginnings, new investments, not necessarily things that are long-term, but it's a nice kickstart to any sort of financial stagnation that may be going on. Then we have, as I said, the full moon in Leo. We'll be looking at that later on in the month. And on the 16th, actually, Mars goes into Capricorn. Now, when Mars goes into Capricorn, right now he's in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius can be, like an indomitable horse running around. So you may have a ton of energy, but it's sort of dispersive in 15,000 different directions. Once Mars moves into Capricorn, where there is the big, everybody else is there. There's Jupiter, there's Saturn, there's Pluto. So that becomes a very, very big board meeting. But Mars in Capricorn, Mars actually likes being in Capricorn because he can get a lot of shit done. It's a little bit slower, but it's solid, right? It's like actually, instead of learning, instead of intuiting, instead of collecting, it's actual building. So things start to take form when Mars goes into Capricorn. So those are the major energies that we'll be dealing with. Let's now get to the reading here. Can I have, please, for Aries, first half of February 2020, what's the overall energy for Aries, first half of February 2020? Despondence. Okay, let's see how this plays out with the rest of the cards. This may also be, well, so, okay. This could be a little bit Mercury in Pisces. This could also be the Venus in Pisces going on right now, because that Venus in Pisces can be all in the feels, and kind of losing sight of getting too into drowning in, let's say, the pain of it. That can be the Venus in Pisces. Let's see how the rest of it plays out. Can I have the challenge, please, for Aries for the first half of February 2020? It's also, you know, full moon in Leo can be a little bit high drama. So it may be that there's a situation that is more of a molehill and it's being treated like a mountain. Can I get the challenge, please? Okay, so we have the Hermit here, so feeling alone. So that's very much in sync with this Despondence card. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So these are really closed off energies. You may be feeling this way right now, right? Like the world doesn't understand you. You can't get a handle on things. Things aren't going your way. It's so annoying that the only thing you can do is just completely withdraw, right? And so our challenge is, now again, I want to see how the rest of these cards are, but the challenge is that we're not open. We're not, or perhaps it's someone else's energy that's not open. Someone else may be walking away from us. We may be despondent about the fact that this person who doesn't open up to us is walking away from us. We may be despondent that we don't have the answer, and so we need to take some time out to sort of figure it out. And in this time, we really don't, we don't want to open up to anyone. So there's a sort of self-protective vibe. There's definitely a not open to the outside world. It may be that dealing with the outside world makes you feel like this, or that, that they are putting you in the conditions to feel like this. Again, this energy, and it may come to a head around the Leo moon, it may be not entirely, but partially in your head. Like, are you feeding something that could be smaller if you wanted it to? Let me get another card here. Oh, all right. Okay, so truth be told, but it came out in the reverse. So there is something that's not being said. When this is right side up, it's an open flood of information. It's like these two cards are essentially the opposite. However, it's in the reverse. So there is someone who is not telling you, or it could be you not saying. There is information that is not flowing. And it's, so there, again, there's that non-movement towards the outside. Things are being held within. So it's almost like everything is under wraps. And you may actually feel, you see how she's kind of bound in those vines? So you may be feeling very bound. And that also could be this Four of Pentacles, when it's just like clutching onto something so tightly that you feel stuck there. Because if you were to let go, if you think about the Four of Pentacles, if you're to let go of one of those things that you're clutching onto, you might lose them, right? And that's the concern. Something may fly out the window if you set it free. And so there's a sort of despondence of, I'm stuck to this situation, but I won't let go of it because I might lose it. And this, this makes me feel like that old adage of, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it was yours. No, there's a funnier one, which is a little bit more Aries style, which says if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it means no one else wanted it. Set it free again. You know? So a little humor in there. But there's definitely a situation that you are feeling tied to, but the only reason you are tied to it is because you won't let go of it, or someone won't let go of you. There is someone who is clutching onto a situation because they're afraid that if they let go, it will go away. But it seems to me that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let me read a little bit here on this despondence card to see if there's anything. Okay. Ha. All right, here we go. So Iris is depressed and unable to look after herself or her home. She cries. So the message, the advice on the despondence card is, by taking action, I find the road out. So Iris is depressed and unable to look after herself or her home. She cries out to the great spirits for help. Mother Earth appears and suggests Iris shower, eat a good meal, and clean up her house. She does, but she still feels despondent. Suddenly a hurricane hits, and Iris springs into action to rescue her neighbor's children. In the urgency, Iris finds the way out of depression by taking action. Right? So this says to me, and there is, there's a lot of Venus over the course of the next couple of weeks will make an aspect both to Pluto and to Saturn. And so this kind of says to me that this situation that is so stuck, right, that is making you feel like this, it's almost like there's, with Pluto, you can deal with things in a couple of ways. You can say, okay, Pluto wants a sacrifice, right? There's no way around it. You have to give him something. That's the way out of this situation, because it's a triangle. So the only way to undo the triangle is to sacrifice something that you want. And he ultimately always gets what he wants. So you can either offer it to him, in which case it tends to be less problematic, and there's usually a gift at the end if you go through that transformation that he's looking for. The ones who resist the most, however, who don't go through this transformation, who don't say what needs to be said, the universe sort of conspires to make something happen, which can increase the sense of despondence, but to sort of snap you out of it, to get you into a different energy where you're sort of forced to change. It's a little, it's a little more aggressive than if you make the decision in the first place, but they are both efficient. So let me read this. I had something that was in my brain, but it just escaped. I hate it when that happens. Okay, so protection message says, where are you being dishonest with yourself or others? If you are unhappy in any area of your life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to others being misleading or withholding or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms. Ask for the truth. Even if you don't like what you hear, acknowledging it will be key to a beautiful new future, where you no longer label under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than the truth is required right now. Okay. Yes, and it looks like, with the Hermit here, that you're actually looking for the truth. But it seems to me like you already, the truth is there to be had. It may not, again, with this card here, there's something that's being held on to that's, first of all, that's blocking anything else from coming in. That guy holding those Four of Pentacles can't get to the Ten of Pentacles because he's got nowhere else to put them. He's clutching, he can't move from that position, because if he does, he drops his pentacles, and that's what he doesn't want to do. But in order to get more, this is the irony of cheapness. In order to get more, you have to open yourself up. Otherwise, there's no way that energy can flow. You're only stuck with what you have. So if this is a person or a anything that is stuck, that is not allowing you to move forward, to expand, to get more, to be free, anything where information is not freely flowing, where you can see it and it feels comfortable, anything that is making you feel like you are trapped or in chains or bound is what needs to be released. It needs to lighten the grip, like loosen the grip on whatever it is that's being clutched onto. Now let's get a couple more cards here. And again, it's like, you know, once something is spoken, once the truth is spoken, this card writes itself up, right? Is that a verb? Sets itself right, writes itself, well, anyway. But whatever it is has, you know, the truth has to be told in the situation. And someone is definitely looking for the truth. And someone is definitely not offering. And that's what's making you crazy. But it says to me, especially with this world here in the center of the being there, you already know, right? Your instinct knows. And that Mercury, when Mercury goes into Pisces, trust your intuition 100%. Okay? It may be because the Mercury in Aquarius is a little bit distant, a little bit disengaged. So it may be looking at things from a rational point of view. Once it goes into Pisces, Mercury, trust your gut feeling. That will give you all the answers that you need. And then Venus moving into Aries should help you make the decisions that you need to make. There is also, if I remember correctly, on the 14th, so on Valentine's Day, a moon Uranus, I don't remember if it's an opposition or a square. That's kind of that's a change of heart, right? And sudden. So seems to me like maybe the first couple of weeks may be getting clear. Excuse me. You may be getting clear on what this situation is, and I believe closer towards the middle of the month, you'll take action. So can I have the energy, please, coming into February? What's the energy coming into February? Where are we? Okay, deep freeze, but that's also in the reverse. So this is, you know, completely frozen. The situation is frozen. Things are not moving, and there's not too much of a thaw that's going to be happening. Let's get, it's also cold. So there's that. Can I have the energy towards the 15th of February? Where will we be on the 15th of February? Where are we towards the 15th? Sacred Pool. Okay, so you remember this? I think we got this last week. But it was turned, oh no, we had Spark last week. This one came up also, but it was reversed. This is a card that reminds you to dive into your intuition, to trust in the universal messages, but also that everything that you need, see, it's about flowing. Okay, you see the difference here? It starts off in a frozen state, and by mid-February, all this ice is flowing, right? So something happens to melt whatever is stuck here. I think it's you that's going to melt it with that fire, right? With the Venus and Aries bringing the fire. To where this is the, you know, this is the universal consciousness. This is the universal messages. Everything you need to know is in this sacred pool. So it's, and this is actually, you know, Aquarius is is frozen. So this may be moving from an Aquarius to Piscean energy, also that Mercury. So definitely more emotional, more in tune with one's emotions. It's interesting because there's like all the transits here. So yeah, things may come to a head at that moon, but somewhere between the beginning of the month and the middle of the month, the transits are going to help you thaw whatever this situation is. Okay, can I get 3 cards, please, for Aries, first half of February 2020? Cards for Aries. Cards for Aries. 3 cards. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I got distracted. 3 cards for Aries, first half of February 2020, please. What's the story for Aries? 3 cards, first half. Yeah, okay. So that's action. That's what I said, you know, it's like if we don't take the choice to give up what's binding us, then the universe steps in and frees us from whatever tower we've put ourselves in. Now, that's not necessarily so we can move forward. It's not a bad thing. Nobody likes to see the tower show up in a reading, but you know, it's change. And if there's so much blocked here that something's got to give, right? So there's definitely movement. 2 more cards, please. Yeah, see? After the tower, world, right? So it's like what I said. You can't get to the 10 of Pentacles if you're stuck accepting the 4. This, whatever this is, has to end so that you get all of the options right back on the table. Because right now, all you have is a situation that's keeping you locked and isolated from the rest of the world. There's nothing sort of warm or comforting or loving about this current state of things. And once it's gone, or once it breaks, once the illusion is shattered, all of the options go back on the table, right? The world is right there, is yours. Let's get 1 more card here. 2 major arcanas. Can I get 1 more card, please, for Aries, first half of February 2020? There it is again. Okay, so this keeps coming up. So this is like, you know, a confirmation. It has to be, to me, this goes in the middle. It has to be let go. Or actually even over here. This is the situation, you know, it's like, okay, well, what needs to go through this process? It's this guy again. Whatever you're clinging to that's blocking the inflow of new energy and new life and the possibility of being abundant, that is what needs to go. Now, it could be, doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship, doesn't have to be a job. It could be a way of thinking. It could be that you have an idea of what is available to you, and that's not true. There's actually more that's available to you, but you're not seeing it because you're clinging to an older idea, or even like in terms of self-worth, right? Sorry, my lamp happened in like 2 years, and nobody has this number, so I hope it wasn't too audible. But what I was saying is it could also be that at some level you are settling for the 4 of Pentacles, and you may not even be aware of it, right? Because that the light, the person is in the darkness, so they don't actually see the light, that you deserve more. But as long as you hold on to the 4 of Pentacles, this is not an option, right? You see the difference in the body language? She's open to everything. And it's, remember there was that that Sabian about the naked girl trying to catch a fish, all the possibilities, new things, learning. This guy's not going anywhere, right? He literally can't even get out of that chair, because then he's going to drop all his coins. And that's the only thing that matters to him. So if you want more, right, don't settle for the Four of Pentacles. In terms of your own evaluation of your self-worth, in terms of the people that you accept into your life, yeah, there's what's the saying? You can't get what you want until you start saying no to what you don't. So if this situation here, whatever it is until you say no thanks to the Four of Pentacles, there's no way anything else can come in, right? Nothing else can come flying towards you because it's upside down. So it's time to be a little bit honest with ourselves in terms of what we want, and in terms of where, I think this is also, where are we holding ourselves back? Where have we put ourselves into this tower? You know, it's not even necessarily, you know, where we've voluntarily put ourselves into this tower, and now it's sort of a time to flip that on its head, move away from this deep freeze and into a sacred pool, you know, where energy flows, where things are available to us, where it's warm and inviting, not like this. So whatever this is, relationship, job, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your possibilities, it should shift into here. Looks like the universe, again, I see all the transits here that are coming up. So it looks like the universe is going to give us a hand on that. When you recognize that energy coming towards you, welcome it, I would say. I know that's, you know, our brains are not wired to welcome change. So, but it does seem to be positive. What's coming in the next couple of weeks is coming to free us. And to melt whatever this frost is. So it sounds like kind of high drama here, but the message is really nice. You know, it's coming to thaw whatever freeze we've been having, you know, and turn that ice into flowing water. Lovely. And take us from here to here. So, you know, you see how she's got all those vines binding her now, and here she's made them into a lovely wreath. So that's with the purple sash. So that's kind of the transformation I think that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. Now let's get into your advice cards. I'll just pull the book out here. Here's the first one. So this is the Spirit Keeper of the East. I have to read these. I know why I picked this deck. Okay, because the Sabian for the full moon in Leo talks about a Native American tribe saluting the sun. So that was my subconscious thinking there. So anyway, this is lovely. Ready? Card meaning new beginnings. A fresh cycle is occurring in your life. Wipe the slate clean. It's time to release the old and start again. No matter what has happened in the past, it doesn't need to repeat in the future. Your native spirit wants you to know, in native traditions, the directions are honored. It's believed that every direction has an associated spirit that can be called upon. In the great cycle of life, the east is the place of the rising sun. It's also associated with planting seeds in the springtime, so perfect timing. Birth, the waxing moon, and new beginnings. Pulling this card means that this is the close of one cycle and the beginning of another. Although it's often difficult to release familiar routines, situations, or relationships when they no longer empower you, your native spirit asks that you not cling to the old. My God, I love it when that happens. But set sail into new waters. Amazing. Face your fear and allow yourself to stretch in a new direction. Wonderful opportunities will be born in your life. Lovely. Okay, let's get this one. This card here is the Circle of Life. Let me find this. Page 40. Sorry, I hate these ones that aren't numbered. Okay, so lovely. All things are possible. Okay, those two echo each other. All things are possible. Stand in your center and be opening. And be open. The 4 winds, so this is this card right here, right? The 4 winds are bringing your dreams to fruition. Embrace and accept where you are in the great cycle of life. Bounty and abundance are flowing to you. If you've had relationship or financial challenges, things are about to change. Nice. There's that thaw. Your native spirit wants you to know the circle of life, called the medicine wheel in Native American traditions, symbolizes a cosmology that honors all the circles of life. Those in Western cultures tend to see life as linear. However, those in indigenous cultures see life as a circle. When this card chooses you, it's time to honor and cherish all aspects of the great circle. All parts of the journey have beauty and grace. There's beauty in the rising sun, just as there is in the setting sun. To only revel in the rising sun and demean times of endings depletes your energy. Okay, that's that despondence, right? Because we're worried about letting go. And it's the holding on that's blocking the flow. Choose what is, and you become the master of the universe, or at least your own personal universe. Okay, and then this final card here is the Dream Traveler. Let's find this. And so this one echoes that sacred pool, right? Let's see what this says. 42. Oh, it's literally right after. Cool. So you are a channel for spirit. Trust your intuition, hunches, and gut reactions. This is a visionary card with the message that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't always seem like it. Your higher self and spiritual guides, ancestors, and guardians are watching over you and supporting you. You are blessed and you are a blessing. You are a dreamer in the most wondrous definition of the word. Your native spirit wants you to know, in earth-based tribal traditions, people looked to those unique individuals who had the ability to journey during their nocturnal dreams. So whoever got this card, pay attention to your dreams. That's where the information is. And that when Mercury goes into Pisces, those will be very rich. Who had the ability to journey during their nocturnal dreams to bring back wisdom and guidance for the tribe. The dreamers were able to step through sacred portals in the night to commune with those on the other side. You carry the energy of the visionary, healer, and seer. Watch your dreams. Messages from the Creator are flowing to you. Lovely. Okay, so yeah, kind of rocky beginning, but overall message is great. The truth is that we actually get to free ourselves from this energy, right? We've had enough. And if we allow these things to come off of us, these binds to fly away from us, by admitting the truth, we can cause our own tower moment, like, nah, I'm done, I'm out. I'm not staying in this tower anymore, dude. And that turns this into this, okay? I think which energy you'd rather be in is superfluous to ask. Anyway, so I hope this was helpful. I will see you for the weekly and wish you a very happy first half of February.